in this Into the Outdoors at Home edition.
This lake is pretty big, huh?
Yeah, there's tons of other wildlife around here too. It's really cool to see.
All right, time to put my own worm on and give this another go.
One of the challenges when fishing is locating where the fish are hanging out and what they're feeding on. So when you first get to a pond or lake, it's important to look for fishy-looking spots. And that usually means places where fish can find cover and food, such as under lily pads, around down trees or logs, maybe under or near a dock, by underwater structures like rock piles or drop-offs. All of these places have one thing in common: structure. And where you find variations in bottom structure, you'll likely find fish.
Think about it. Structure provides shelter, shade, and protection for fish and everything that fish eat, both big and small. It's a pretty simple formula that follows the aquatic food chain. Weeds and sunken logs attract aquatic insects that can attract crayfish, minnows, and frogs that in turn attract bigger fish that eat them, and even really big fish that consume them. Yep, find structure and you'll likely find fish, all being a part of the aquatic food chain. Here are some pointers.
Lily pads. When you're casting into lily pads or weed beds, try to cast to the edges to avoid getting tangled in them. Also, the edge of the weeds is usually where bigger fish like to cruise when they're looking for smaller fish to eat. If the lily pads go on forever, try a weedless lure and cast right into them. A weedless frog surface lure is one of my favorites for catching bass. And what a rush when they strike the lure.
Sunken trees. If you see a sunken tree, that's probably where you want to be, because fish love hanging out by them. But it's not just down trees. Check near rocks, branches, sunken logs, and stumps as well.
Docks. Have you ever walked out on a dock and watched the fish swim from it? That's because the dock can not only hide them, but it provides good shelter from the sun. So docks are a great place to fish from at any time of the day. Just be sure to sneak out on the dock quietly.
Overhanging trees or bushes. Trees on shore that overhang the water provide cover from fish-eating birds, and insects often fall from trees into the water. Protection and a food source? That's a win-win for fish, and a win-win for savvy anglers. Like you and me.
Besides fishy spots, there are a lot of other variables when trying to catch fish. For example, one thing I always pay attention to is what type of line I'm using. This is a 6-pound mono line. 6 pounds means that's how much resistance it can withstand before snapping. And 6 pounds of resistance can probably handle most fish in this lake.
Most fish in this lake? How would you know that? We've never even been here before.
Funny you should ask. I got serious and used a fishing app. Interactive fishing apps like this help you learn about local or distant waters, especially if you've never fished there before. You can find out what people are catching, make fishing connections, and learn different fishing techniques, everywhere from your local pond to the middle of the farthest ocean. The short story is that it offers a lot of helpful information that can save you time and frustration, like what species of fish people are catching on what types of lures or baits, and in what locations. It even shows you nearby lakes that maybe you don't know about. And remember how we talked about how bottom structure is key? This fishing app provides maps for every body of water with specific layers of the various catches, waypoints, and even depth contours like the drop-offs in this lake. It's a kid-friendly app, but make sure your parents are okay with it first before you download it. Not only does it help you catch fish, but fishing apps can also help you plan your next adventure from the comfort of your own home by making you and your fishing buddies aware of fishing spots you might not have even known about. Of course, you don't always need a brainy fishing app like this when you're fishing, but on the other hand, it's smart success insurance to have at your fingertips if you're not catching anything.
Wow, fishing technology sure has come a long way, and honestly, so have my fishing skills. Check it out!
Wow, Gracie, with just a little practice, you're making spin casting look like easy casting.
I've learned that you need to set the hook. What that means is, when you feel a fish nibbling on or striking your lure, you need to give it a quick tug. If done properly, that makes sure that the fish gets caught on the hook, and then all you've got to do is reel him in. Carefully, of course, and keep your rod tip up and the line tension constant.
Whoa, that's not a panfish.
Look at this, we got a largemouth!
That's a big fish. Maybe if we row to a new spot, I'll catch a big one too. Hey Gracie, why don't you try rowing?
Sure. Oh boy, I've never really rowed a boat before. I hope Solomon shows some patience with me.
You want to pull him towards you like this.
Like this? Am I going the right way?
Yeah.
Okay.
But try holding him like this.
Like what?
Yeah, like that. Like that, just like that. Row, row, row your boat gently down the lake. I really hope we can find some fish so we can eat them all day. Wow, is this your first time in a rowboat?
Yeah.
You're doing a really good job.
Thank you. It's hard work.
Yeah,